Brother, this guy stinks!
Get ready for the next battle.
Hello, my name is Vaderfly, and Hollywood is bankrupt as hell. Before I continue on to my video, I want to first say thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. I am close to 500 subscribers, and I can't say enough thank you so much. And an amazing Christmas present, I'm not gonna lie, for me, is if you help me get to 500. How you can do that is make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit that little bell. I've noticed that a lot of people have seen the videos that are new, but it's not a lot of returning people. So if you want to check out the videos and you're kind of here with the channel, you know, go ahead and hit the bell. It'll let you know when my next video is up. Also, working on my other scripts for my other videos, one being the Mary Jane video. I'm also working on a Batman Begins video and a couple other videos. I'm working on the scripts for those to get them ready for basically next year. I know, unfortunately, I was hoping to get more of them done, but I'm gonna focus on this for right now, especially since my life has been a little hectic and a little busy. But needless to say, I'm going to keep getting you information and keep giving me information, because I'm apparently going to just use the word information because that's what's on my mind right now. Also, I want to say this to you guys out there. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate you guys, and just the supports and the comments alone have been heartwarming, to say the least. So thank you. Let's go ahead and get into this. The creatively bankrupt people in Hollywood have released their newest trailer for How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action movie that will be coming out next year. Mind you, this movie is now going to be upon, I guess, the 15th anniversary of the original How to Train Your Dragon, and 5 years from the last release of the third movie. So needless to say, a live-action movie, I guess, is warranted. After watching the trailer, I've decided I'm not going to support this movie in any way. The trailer looks absolutely awful. You can tell from the green screen, and just actors are very, very apparent that they're standing on a green screen, and this just, it looks bad, guys. Also, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here and just talk about it. They race swapped Astrid, and I'm a little annoyed and a little upset. While I'm not going to focus on that right now, I'm just going to talk about high feelings and then talk about the Astrid part later. My feelings on this trailer, it just kind of tells me how much they do not respect the creative minds behind the original artwork of this masterpiece. Now, mind you, the original trilogy is kind of a loose base off the books, but it did well enough to get you into the world of How to Train Your Dragon in general. Watching this trailer, it made me feel like I didn't need to watch this movie, like how I felt about Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was just honestly a waste of time. I know a lot of people will disagree with me. They said they fleshed out certain things and made things better. I disagree with that. Not everything needs to be fleshed out. I hate to say it to you. Even me being a fan of the prequels, I have to admit, I didn't need to know everything needed to connect. Sometimes some things just don't need to connect and don't need to have an overarching story to make sense. Can't say this enough, how they butchered my girl Azula. She's just like straight up a daddy issues girl, and she's just as righteous as Zuko, but just misunderstood. And Azula was a bad ass bitch who got the job done, and that's what I loved about her, because I loved her character who was just trying to be so normal in a world where she just wasn't the normal one. I mean, for crying out loud, one of my favorite scenes in the original Avatar: The Last Airbender is when Zuko and Iroh are talking about her, and like Iroh says this:
"She's my sister and I should be trying to get along with her."
No, she's crazy and she needs to go down.
That to me still gets me every time. Watching the live action version of this, it wouldn't work. that line would not work in the live action version of this show. And that's how I feel about How to Train Your Dragon. There's just gonna be things where I can tell where they're gonna try to fill in gaps where they didn't need to be filled in. And don't get me wrong, this could be an amazing movie, but I'm not gonna support it. And I'm not gonna support Hollywood being lazy. Don't get me wrong, Hollywood has been doing remakes of movies for, oh my gosh, near a century now. Sometimes they will make a silent movie in the 30s and remake it in the 50s, and then that remake will be probably remade in the 70s, and that remake will probably get remade in the 90s. So they've been doing this for a while, but back then there used to be kind of a length of time for some movies. Now it just feels like they're just busting them out as quick as they can because they feel like the millennials, which are now the adults in the situation, are going to be the ones with the disposable cash to buy and go spend and watch these movies or buy these games or buy these toys, which we do have the money. I just don't want to support the crap. I'm going to be completely honest. I'd rather just go back and rewatch old movies or watch movies I haven't seen yet from back then, or play games from back then that I didn't get a chance to play, than play a lot of the newer stuff or watch a lot of the newer movies or television shows. A lot of Western entertainment is just lackluster, and it doesn't want to challenge the audience, as I've mentioned so many times before. There's not a lot of conflict, and they want to sympathize or make you sympathize with every character, and you just sometimes can't do that. Sometimes it's just good guy, bad guy, and that's it. So now this leads me to the elephant in the room, Astrid. Now, I want to be very clear about this. Do not harass this actress. This actress did nothing wrong. She just got hired for the part. Don't harass her. I know either way, me saying that, we're still gonna get harassment, and you're gonna get the typical people on Twitter and Blue Skies talking about how all the chuds and all the stuff. I just my issue with all of this is that I know a bunch of people are gonna sit there and go, well, it's fantasy, Vaderfly, so it shouldn't matter. Which I'm gonna first cut you off and say this. Okay, if it's fantasy, well, why can't white people be in Wakanda? You're gonna allow white people to be in Wakanda? No, you will have a problem. And now I know other people are gonna say, well, America Ferrera voiced acted Astrid, and she's Hispanic, and nobody's seen a thing. I'm making the cake. Well, let me once again say this again. Voice acting, you can be anybody and voice act any character you want to. Cree Summers and Phil Lamar are great examples of that. Tom Kenny is a great example of that. Steve Bloom is a great example of that. Tara Strong is a definitely great example of that. You can voice act so many characters. Until recently, where they've basically made it racist, and I will admit that this is racist, where you only characters you can voice act are the characters of your skin type, which very limits the opportunities you get as a voice actor, just throwing that out there. And some people kind of found out the consequences of that action, so it's kind of funny. It used to not be based on race, it just used to be who can just do the best job and feel like it was the best person for the job. And at the time when America Ferrera was very hot back then, because if nobody remembers, America Ferrera was everywhere back in the early 10s, she happened to be the best person for the job. And I know where everybody's gonna say, well, she just happens to be the best person for the job. Where I have to stop you there and say, no, we're not playing that one this time. This is based in Nordic Viking times. Nordic Viking times. I want to say that one more time. Nordic Viking. So it makes more sense that it will be, I don't know, a white character. Look, I'm just going to be 100% honest about this. I'm tired of the sloppy seconds that black people are getting for all these race swap characters. While I will admit, and I will bend the knee, that sometimes, yeah, there are some times where there was race swap characters and they did better than we expected. But back then, it was kind of like, oh wow, that was not the original character that I was hoping for, but they did a good job. Now it's kind of feels like a personal attack on the audience, or personal attack to the fandom, that basically go, wait, that's what? And they'll sit there and say, well, this minority group needs more roles. Well, you know how you create more roles? You get more creative, and you actually do creative projects with black people or Asian people or Hispanic people, and you actually, you know, not just typecast us as just the stereotypical races that we've been seeing on Hollywood for close to 60 years. This is something that could be fixed. And honestly, this is another reason why I'm not supporting this movie. I'm not supporting a movie that will give us sloppy seconds. I'm not supporting a movie where it's going to basically put another person of color in the crosshairs of a freaking culture war. They're doing this on purpose, and I'm so sick of it. I am so tired of it, and I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not supporting this movie anyway, because especially since, like I said, you still have the original one, and the original one is there. I'm going to watch the original one, which I know a bunch of people are going to use that excuse. Well, you can still watch the original one. You shouldn't have to use that excuse if you're expecting something from the live action. And before all you guys get upset and start yelling at me, yes, even in the book, she was a white blonde girl. Just saying. This is getting old and it's getting tiresome. I'm tired of arguing about this, and I'm not going to join a side to pick a battle here. But we must be responsible and understand that diversity, while great, can be abused and used as a shield for these Hollywood people or these weirdos on Twitter or Blue Sky or these weirdos in the comic book space or other spaces to use as a hammer to shut down any kind of conversations about actual problems going on with the system. This is an issue and this sucks. Also, this trailer still looks awful. It's just, I can't get over how bad this trailer looks. Like, you can tell that they're sitting there on a green screen. I've seen cosplayers that can pull off these looks better than the trailer did. I'm trying here. I'm legitimately trying here. And you know what, another thing that really bugs me about this trailer? Hiccup in the first movie is supposed to not look great. He's not supposed to look great. He grows into looking great. This kid is already looking like he's already looking good. And I'm like, but that's not, but, okay. It's just, like I said, with the Avatar: The Last Airbender, where because they already know what's going to happen in the script, and they already know the story, so they purposely are putting things into the story in advance that's going to mess with the story later down the road. Can we stop, Hollywood? Please, can we get some new ideas? I feel like if George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Gene Roddenberry, and so many other creators, if they were to come out today and try to release Star Wars, Star Trek, E.T., whatever, those movies wouldn't even cross the lines because it's not what Hollywood wants. The rise of the independent creator, like I mentioned before, is today, and it needs to start happening more and more because these guys are not going to listen to us. They're not going to care. They're going to keep doing this, and they're going to put this poor actress in the target of everybody because Hollywood decided they wanted to be them and learn these old people down below that they're gonna teach us how to be proper and accept anything in our fantasies. Guys, if it's written a certain way, leave it that way. Once again, I bring up Wakanda. If it's written a certain way, leave it that way. Respect the audience and respect the audience intelligence nonetheless. It's just really annoying. It's really tiresome. I'm just like,
oh shit, here we go again.
But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell. Like I said, for me, I'm not gonna go watch this movie. I'm not gonna support this movie. I'm not gonna, care about this movie. I can't do this. I'm tired of this. And honestly, since we have the 3 movies, go watch the 3 original movies. They're way better, in my personal opinion. And I'm not saying that this movie is gonna be absolutely awful. You know what? This movie, once again, could be absolutely amazing. But I'm not going to support this kind of, I'm just not going to support this kind of stuff anymore. I'm not going to support this kind of pandering and sloppy seconds and all this stuff just because they want to push quotas, and not only that, make it look this bad. There's a movie out there, a fan film. It's called Maul. It's a Star Wars movie, and it looks way good for what they did. And I might link that in my description. And there are cosplayers and people like that that have made way better stuff for How to Train Your Dragon. It shows you that when you actually have creative talent and you actually have passion, not just you just want to make a movie because I want to make a live action movie of this cartoon. You actually have things that go well. And I just think Hollywood doesn't care. They've proven they don't care. And I'm gonna prove that I don't care and not spend my time or my energy or my money to go support something that they clearly want to crap on me about. So I hope you guys are doing well. Please keep your dreams alive. Keep your head above water. I love you guys. I love you, true believers. You guys are amazing. And once again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell button, and you will get all the notifications. My newest videos will be scripted and they will be coming out next year, and we'll just kind of go from there. So my name is Vaderfly. I hope you're doing well. I will talk to you later. Peace.